Everybody, my name is Ted Radlack. I'm Vice President of Leslieville Historical Society. I would like to begin, first of all, by acknowledging that we are gathering today on the traditional territory of the Wendat, Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Métis, Mississauga, and Credit First Nation. I'd also like to extend a very warm welcome to the Black Historical Society of Ontario. And I'd like to also extend a very warm welcome to the descendants of the Underground Railroad families that we're commemorating today. I believe some of them are here. So that would be wonderful. Leslieville Historical Society was founded on the principle of strengthening our sense of community and through enhancing our sense of place, our identity, and our collective memory. This not only enriches our community life, but it also adds to our resilience. To that end, we've been involved in historic restoration. To the west here, we've recently helped restore the Burgess building, and been involved in commemorating and celebrating people, places, and events such as this one. We are most proud of this, the brainchild of Duran.
Hey, Duran.
Big applause, please. Oh, well, yes, absolutely. So we are most proud of this. It's obviously a story that needs to be told more and more often, especially these days. In the 1800s, many families, groups, and individuals traveled the treacherous trek north using the Underground Railroad with the North Star as their guide, often left to their own devices, using their own survival skills. And many of them got here and formed a community here at Queen and Logan in the 1800s. And they became part of our identity. They helped forge our identity. So I just wanted to end my by thanking Councillor Paula Fletcher.
I'm right here.
Oh, oh my goodness. You're amazing. I want to thank Paula Fletcher and her capable staff, Ravi Joshi, Nicholas Mulberry, Saren, who attended so many of our meetings, giving us a lot of moral support, resources at times when we needed it. Thank you so much. Oh, I know that, always. And of course, Daniels Corporation. Without this, wouldn't have been possible. My personal opinion, you've been exemplary in this process. Jeffrey Gibson, from the very beginning, was such a champion of this project. He came to all our meetings. He supported the plaque. He even supported our suggestions about the facade, a little bit more brick, blending it into the context. And, he was extremely supportive. And in the 11th hour, Glennie Cruz and their subcontractor, King Young of Solution Works, really helped us to get this together. We had some technical glitches, but they were resolved. Is Glennie here?
Glennie, thank you!
Hi, Glennie.
Glennie and Dina!
So anyway, and this is the result. We all work together, and I mean, teamwork. Development really is about community building. We both win, and this is a big win for our community and Daniels. So thank you very much. Remo, would you like to say a few words if you're ready? This is Vice President of Daniels Corporation, Remo, I guess,
on behalf of everyone at the Daniels Corporation, we're honored to have worked with the Leslieville Historical Society to bring significant recognition to Leslieville's history, Leslieville's history to life. Thank you all for joining us today. Communities are deep, rich, rooted in culture, and history provides the foundations as communities changes. Communities will always change, and it's that history that sort of binds to sort of creating how we move forward. And it creates this unique sense of place, is that history. And Leslieville is a unique neighborhood in Toronto. It's evident for a number of reasons. It's the shops, it's the homes, it's the schools, but it really is a sense of community. The Underground Railroad, a secret network of routes and safe houses during the early mid to 19th century, used by enslaved African Americans, found refuge throughout locations in Ontario, including here in Leslieville. It's quite a surprise to me, actually, when I found out about that. And they were established here at the corner of Queen Street East and Logan Avenue. The plaque that's here today is not only a commemoration of the history, but a reminder that beyond the aspects of what makes this community so unique, the true foundation of this community is the history and the people that use the Underground Railway and to help forge the identity of Leslieville as we go forward, as we know it today. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Councillor Paul Fletcher. It's also a very process.
Well, it's so exciting to be here today for the unveiling of this plaque and to recognize the great work of the Leslieville Historical Society. And I was very excited that I was there at the founding meeting. And they're doing such great work all along Queen Street, even the building next door, and maintaining the facade of the old wood green pharmacy. But the importance of understanding that this was a stop and a refuge on the Underground Railway is so important, because Leslieville, South Riverdale, whatever you want to call it, has always been an inclusive community that has embraced everybody. And this is really important today with the changing community that we live in, that this community remembers its roots are in inclusivity, caring, and helping people make better lives on the road to freedom. And this is really symbolic that we have this here on Queen Street, because as the street changes, we simply can't forget our roots, we can't forget the culture, we can't forget who we are in this community. So congratulations to everybody that had a role in making this possible. It's a great addition to the street. Thanks so much.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Who has been very supportive as well.
Well, I think it's amazing when you see the work that happens here in our community and how people come together. When Joanne was telling the story, even about how she traced down all of these families. It's not just unnamed people, it's about these families who came to form part of the community. And what's great about having a plaque like this, I'm so sorry, is that it also gives us the chance to use this as a starting point for more discovery. And I'm really excited about it. I think you said you might help us on a little walking tour along the way. It's a really good opportunity for us to remember that we have people doing a lot of amazing work trying to bring this community together, to keep looking up our historical societies, supporting them, and finding ways that we can keep learning our history together. Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to bring forward my friends and colleagues from the Ontario Black History Society who have been, they help with the wording, they help with the research, they have been wonderful.
Paulette Kelly, Vice President, and I'm Pamela Houston, one of my admin.
I just want to say a correction. I was vice president for 12 years. I am no longer as of 2 weeks ago, but I am still on the board. So I just wanted to come and say how very pleased we are. And we understand the efforts, the time it takes, the many people that are connected, okay, to getting something like this actually into a living. Okay? So thank you for all the people, Joanne, am I correct here? And all the other people, as Councilwoman was saying, that this is an inclusive environment. There are people from all over the world that live here now in Toronto. And all of us have different interests, different faiths, different cuisines, but in reality, everybody's the same. We all want a safe, loving community where everybody is recognized. So we're very happy here. Congratulations.
Yes. And I just wanted to say, at the Ontario Black History Society, we do walking tours. We're mostly around Adelaide, Yonge, King, but we also do bus tours. Now we're going to have to include this because we do Black History bus tours. There's a lot of Underground Railroad plaques all around Toronto that a lot of people don't know about. So if you guys want to know, we're at 10 Adelaide Street East, Suite 402. You can Google us. We have a big event coming up Jan 20. So this is a little plug.
last
Jan
Sunday,
26. It's called the kickoff brunch for February, being Black History Month. So if you want to come to that, because we had over 700 people last year. This year we're trying for over 1,000, which should be more. We don't have a museum in Toronto as of yet, which is unbelievable. But our Ontario Black History Society is the closest to a museum for now. And we have books, T-shirts, posters, and we rent out exhibits for if you have any kind of event you want to learn about Black history. Call us. We have speakers come out. And I guess that's it. And I'm in shock because I'm 5 generations underground descendant. But my mother's from Owen Sound roots. Father is from North Buxton. But when they made it into Ontario, Toronto, am I related to any of these people before they went? You know what I mean? So now I got to do some more research on my own. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you very much, Joanne. Unbelievable.
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to invite the East York Historical Society.
Yes, of course. Yes. Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, greetings to the important families and friends and neighbors, all the folks who made it safely and settled into this beautiful community of Leslieville and other communities throughout Canada today. Because I'm sure most of these people did travel all over Canada and the world. So we don't know everybody who's here, where they're from. My name is Panchetta Pat Barnett, President of the East York Historical Society and a resident of Leaside, East York. Many thanks to my friend here, Joanne Doucette. Hello. Of the Leslieville Historical Society and the Daniels Corporation and their partner Stanley Garden 2018, is it? For this great moment. Great pineal and melanin and serotonin. I'm honored to be here today. This plaque commemorates these families, the Barrys, Chesneys, Doherty, Harmons, Johnsons, Lewises, Sewells, Whitneys, Wilroses, Winters, Woodforks, and others who came here from Kentucky, Maryland, Virginia, and other states. When I often think about the enduring courage and strength and intelligence of our people, and I say our people today because, you know, a lot of the families here they intermarried, so some of you could be related. Doesn't matter what you look like. You could be related, far removed, maybe a cousin now. Our people had endured during their escape. Even at times they had to turn around, turn back, start all over again. Sometimes with large families, a child would be left behind. And so they had to go back and find that child, like the Jackson's family, if this was possible, because they were always close to being caught, or even being caught, and the price that they paid with their lives and dignity, I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. And I've shed a few tears sometimes when I think about what happened to some of these people. Okay, I feel a strong kinship to you all here gathered here today as my cousins. I just want to explain some of the terminology of what the Underground Railway system was like. Because a lot of people, and maybe I did when I was much younger, that it was maybe some kind of a line or some kind of track, but it was a track invisible to some human beings. People who helped the slaves find railroads were called agents or shepherds. Guides were known as conductors. Hiding places were stations or way stations. Escaped slaves were referred to as passengers or cargoes. Slaves would obtain a ticket, and similar to common gospel lore, the wheels would keep on turning. Financial benefactors of the railroad was known as stockholders. So we have stocks and bonds today. That was all part of all of the slavery situation when they were held in stocks and bonds. Cruel situations, awful situations. You can't imagine. My friend here, Joanna, she's gone through a lot of her historical digs and research. And this has been included over 30 years when Joanne come upon a lot of these things. It just didn't happen today. You know, so Joanne and I, we go a little ways back. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing, Joanne. And I know your heart is good towards our people. I'm not going to take too long because I'm a good talker. And but also the Big Dipper, whose bowl points to the North Star. They not only use North Star, they also use morass, because that grows in certain ways. And a lot of our relatives' bodies are today in swamps, because if they were picked up, you know, anybody could just murder them and throw them over in the swamp. They'll never be found today. You know, the alligators would eat them. It was also known as a drinking gourd. The railroad was often known as the Freedom Train or a gospel train, which headed towards heaven or the promised land, for example, Canada. So in closing, I want to say many thanks to the offsprings of all who showed their kindness. You know, the ones who've gone before, the spirits are probably here today, checking us out. Upon their arrivals here, may you hear this, and I thank you for having me and inviting me. Thank you.
If there are any descendants among us today, if you'd like to say as many words as you like, I would invite you at this time. Don't be shy. We're all friends here.
Okay. I'll do my very best. I know Joanne because our dogs are brothers. So that brought me to Joanne's life. And sitting around in your living room watching our dogs play. I'm adopted, but I was born at East General. Joanne has this amazing talent. She went on her computer, played around, was like, that name's not right. She's looking up my birth family's name. And as the weeks went by, she kept playing, and then she found this picture of somebody that looked exactly like me. Like, I've never seen anybody that looked like me in my life. So she basically introduced me to my ancestors. So, Joanne, thank you, and thank you for this on behalf of all of us Black people that live in Toronto that are trying to know our history. We owe you flowers. We owe you so much. So I'm so happy.
What's your name, baby?
My name's Marnie Brunton. Yes.
Hey.
So thank you for giving me my history back. Thank you.
I'm going to wind up, and I'm not going to be long, but I want to tell you two brief stories, and I am a storyteller. It's part of my tradition, and I the first is the story of Isaiah Sewell, whose father owned the farm here, father and mother, Samuel and Rachel. They came from Virginia in the early, around 1830 or earlier. He was born in the 1790s in slavery, and they came up with the Vilrose family, and they raised horses here. A lot of the Black people here were what you would call horse whisperers, very skilled in horses. And his son Isaiah was 15, and his father sent him up to Broadview, one called Broadview Avenue, but with the money to buy a winter's load of hay for the horses. And on his way, a woman came out of the brush, and he's 15 years old. Tall boy, apparently good looking, I don't have the photo. And he went with her and sat down, and it was the Brooks Bush gang, a gang of robbers that frequented Wolfrow Park. And someone came up behind him and killed him with a bottle. And the reason he gave was that he was making eyes at a white woman. And as far as I've been able to determine, this was the first racially motivated murder of a Black man in Canada. And it moved me, it still moves me to tears, because it has been totally forgotten. And the racism that they faced then is still with us today, and Black men and women experience it daily, covertly and in more obvious ways. moved by this, and on the way I found a story. It may be apocryphal, it may not be true, I don't know, but I found it in records. You know the statue of what they call the faithful, the black jockey holding the light. Well, it actually wasn't light. And in the South, these were very popular. I've seen photos of them. And they were at the gates to light the way to the plantation. And what the people who lived on the plantation and worked there as slaves did was they turned them. So they pointed north. So that everyone who came up the road who was in on the secret knew that was the direction north. Now, I think they already knew because the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And they were more in tune with the stars than we were. But it's a wonderful case of subversion. And I want to be a little subversive. I want us to remember the Sewells and the documents. So I'm going to read the plaque, and afterwards I'm going to lead a brief walk, and I'll answer any questions on the walk. So let's go to the Underground Railroad. The great Harriet Tubman, who was involved in getting people here. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world. Many families came to Toronto in the 1800s to escape slavery, violence, and oppression in the American South. They courageously followed the dangerous path to freedom via the Underground Railroad, and some settled here near the corner of Queen Street East and Logan Avenue, while a few returned south after the Civil War. And not far south. Nobody went south. They went to Pittsburgh, they went to Cleveland, they went to New York City. They did not go to Alabama. Yeah. I'm ad-libbing. Many remain, helping to forge the identity of Leslieville today. This plaque commemorates those families, the Barrys, Cheneys, Dockertys, Harmons, Johnsons, Lewises, Sewells, Whitneys, Wilroses, Winders, Woodforks, and others who came here from Kentucky, Maryland, Virginia, and other states. By the Leslieville Historical Society, together with the Daniels Corporation and their partner, Standing Garden. Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here today. And let's carry it forward. Let's be subversive.
We'd like to close at this time. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm really going to want this community here. It's really wonderful. It's so emblematic of what it is to be Canadian. And, you know, we're all children, descendants of immigrants and refugees. Yeah. And one quick anecdote for me, the backdrop of what's happening these days, political upheaval, I hope we will pass soon. People of color sometimes are referred to as outsiders or not from here. And yet, most of these, a lot of people of color have longer roots than I took. My family came here after World War II. And yet, a lot of these African American people of color have been here for 500 years. So, that's important to remember. We all belong here. Thank you.
Good job, Ken. Secret.
Oh, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
My name is Alison, and I run